All right, everybody, welcome to the call today. This is Scott Pierce from Listings to Leads. We're doing database mastery. So we're going to cover a bunch of different emails and different things that we've got in the system and things I'm going to suggest as far as how to treat your database. I am recovering from a pretty bad chest cold. So if I sound a little bit off today or anything like that, I apologize. My voice may crack or sound a little bit grovelly. Normal, it's not like that. So again, I'll apologize for any issues to understand what I'm saying. And I'll just try to make sure I speak clear as we go through this. So I have logged into my Listings to Leads account, landed on the dashboard. And as we go through this, if you got a second screen, you could do some of this with me today. Want your feedback. So let me know. I'm going to cover some of the things that you may have done already, but I bet some of you haven't. So I'm going to scroll down from the login dashboard. I'm just going to scroll past a few things here. And there's a section called Database Email Blast. And in here, we've got a bunch of emails. And for example, mid-February on the 14th, we dropped an email. Breaking news, you're paying a mortgage, just not yours. And so I sent this out to my database, and that's a look at it right there. And you can see this email. Now, you can send these out through Listings to Leads. You can send them out through your CRM. And it's such a great email. If you haven't sent this email out, I highly recommend that you do. Talk to a few clients that got some good feedback from this, from their database. And in the email, it says, "Hello, Scott. Here's a wild thought. In the next 5 years, a renter will spend between $63,000 and $220,000 on rent and own nothing." Yes, I did the math for you. And trust me, it's painful. Take a look at the chart below. You can see here, there's a chart in the actual email. You can click on that and it'll actually expand out. And then below, the good news, you can turn that money into your own home instead of your landlord's next vacation fund. So great email. They click that image. It's going to download the PDF guide, the ultimate guide to buying a home, which is a great email. If they click that email to download the guide, you will get a you'll get notified. So you'll get a notification. And here's that guide, the ultimate guide to buying a home. All branded to you. And so the cool thing is, you may have never seen this guide. You may have just signed up to Listings to Leads. But as long as you went through that Get Started wizard, all of these guides are dialed in. They've all got your branding on them. They're all attached to the emails the exact right way. So all you need to do is use them. Below that is the Listings to Leads signature. And this lead in signature, I'll show you in a little bit. Man, we got so many clients. They'll take the signature and they'll drop it into the CRM. They'll drop it into their MLS because they can then, right from their email, people can get to a home value landing page. They can get to your client review website. And you can customize these links even to go somewhere else. That lead gen signature from Listings to Leads is another great database tool, which I'll show you about here in a little bit. But let's take a look at this email first. So let me close this out. And let me do this. I'm going to go over here. And I'll tell you, let me go. I'll show you with the other emails. I already sent that one. So that one's already been sent. So the second email that we dropped, what's the date? Today's the 3rd. So I guess last week. The Shiller index, I think that dropped on Wednesday or Thursday of last week. And so I'll click it and you can see they're all editable. So I can edit anything in here. Now for the Shiller, the subject line was the Shiller index is out. Don't be fooled by annual gains. So just like the previous email that we looked at, you click in here, you can edit in any of the stuff that you want. And you can see here for the Shiller, we give the national composite, the 20 city composite, the 10 city. We talk about the fact that the headlines were a little bit misleading. So that would be a great way to get people to click. So they're going to go, what about the headline was misleading? So even if they saw the Shiller maybe last week, and maybe you didn't get this out last week like you should have, you can still get it out this week and get some good clicks, get some good interest, and get some good conversations going. And so typically here, like we always do, we'll give a little bit of synopsis on what does it mean for buyers? What does it mean for sellers? A great graphic. And then below that will be your signature. And then so you'll see there's a preview pane. And then I can preview what this will actually look like when it gets sent. And again, there's my signature at the bottom. Now to get this email, the previous email, any of these email blasts to your database, you got two different ways of doing it. One, you can either send it through Listings to Leads, or you can copy the code and go to your CRM. So let me show you the copy code first. So if I click copy code, I can go to my CRM. Now, someone mentioned KV Core took this capability out, which I think is absolutely, I don't want to say criminal. That's a little bit dramatic, but it's a slap in the face to their client base to literally take out something that is so basic in every editor. Because you'll see here a source button. So in the top left here, you see a little button called source. And what that does is it allows you to bring in other emails. You paste it in that little pop-up and close it. And look at this. I got a beautiful email in about 2 seconds. And again, here, if I want to edit anything, I can edit inside of here. I'm going to go grab the subject line. And I'll just copy and paste that obviously into the subject line here. And then I would send it out to my database. Either I would send it or schedule it right through here. And this is an email that's really appropriate again to your entire database. Now to send that through Listings to Leads, I can either schedule. So first thing I'll do is over on the right-hand side, I can come over here and say, send it to all leads or to a particular contact list. And either click schedule, because you might be doing it at 3 a.m. Who knows when you're doing it? So, schedule it for an appropriate time, and or click send right here if you want to send it out right now. So another phenomenal email. Highly recommend getting that to your database. Now, if you haven't sent out any of these, maybe put a day in between. There's so many vendors, agents that I get email from every single day. As long as the emails aren't wasting people's time, the case Shiller, that is national news. That impacts homeowners, home sellers. So it's a great email to get out. It's a great update. It's going to be great information. And what I always recommend that you do, when you send an email out to your database, try and call 5 to 10 people that got the email. So when you send it through your CRM and or even Listings to Leads. So I can see here, 400 people, it was sent to 412 people. 405 people got it. 200 people opened it. 6 people clicked it. And so what I would do is I would call those 6 people and or some of the people from here. And you can even call whoever you want to, really. But I'm just trying to help you make the best use of your time. So try and make sure you call some of these people. You don't need to call them right away, but every day I would look in here and say, oh, you know what? More of these people open my email. I'm going to go ahead and give them a call. Or, all these people opened it. Let me call a few of these people up, even if you just leave a voicemail. And so what I always recommend again, so for example, if I'm going to call regarding this email here, I may just call up and say, hey, Sean, this is Scott. And I sent an email out to all my clients last week because we were looking at the math, talking to a client. And did you know in 5 years, rent payments could equal $53,000 to $220,000, and they're not going to have nothing to show for it. We got a lot of great properties for sale. a lot of great down payment assistance options, a lot of great incentives for people to buy a home. So if you know anyone that's renting right now, maybe they're spending a little bit much money on rent, I would love to have a chance to talk to them, or you can send them the email that you just got. See how that works? So you're adding value. We're not just calling to waste people's time. We're not calling people to ask for referrals. We're calling with really good content. And the same thing with a case Shiller, right? When I send out this email, the case Shiller, again, I'm going to call up my database. I'll look at my opens. I'll look at my people that clicked it, try to call 5 to 10 people. And again, super easy. Don't overcomplicate it. I would call again. Hey, Sean Scott here. I sent all my clients a email regarding the CoreLogic Case Shiller Home Price Index. This is a major index in the housing industry, and the headlines were a little bit misleading. So I sent you an email on that. Just let me know if you have any questions. Would love to talk. Have a great day. You're letting them know you're live. You're letting them know you're professional. You're letting them know you got some insights and some information that may be relevant to them. You know what? If it's not, at least you called, and they'll be appreciative of that. And if they're not, who cares? Call the next person. Our goal is to uncover the people that want to do something, but we're never going to uncover them if we're not visible, if we're not emailing something, if we're not reaching out with a quick phone call. The emails are great. I could send this via text, right? I could also send a text. Hey, I sent an email to you a little bit earlier regarding case Shiller. The headlines were a little bit misleading. Check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. That could be a great text to overlay on top of the email and then do the phone call. So, but if you're not visible, if you're not creating the conversation opportunities, you're never going to engage, or not that you'll never engage them, but you're going to engage them at a much lower level. And we've even got another fun little email. So every month, this is just a little email again. We've had some good feedback from clients. 10 interesting dates in March. And as you can see here, what we do is just a nice little introduction, walk through some of the Mardi Gras coming up tomorrow, or today the 4th. Holy crap. Today's Mardi Gras. Nice. Dentist Day, International Women's Day, Daylight Savings. Can't wait. Oh my gosh. Commonwealth Day for our Canadian friends, right? All the boomers are going to love Alfred Hitchcock Day. Worm Moon, Ides of March. That's a great one. Say, between Mardi Gras and St. Patrick's, March is always a lot of fun. So again, this is just meant to be a little bit of fun, right? So again, I can, as always, send a test email. I always like to make sure it looks good before I start messing with it. So I would open up my Gmail or whatever email program you're using, check that out, make sure all the links work. Again, I'm going to click copy code, go to my CRM, where I'm going to email my database. And again, there's a little button right there called source. I click it, paste in the stuff I copied from listings to leads. And in about 3 seconds, I've got an awesome email. And again, there's my lead gen signature from listings to leads right there. I'll just copy and paste in that subject line. It's an easy one to remember, so you can just type it in even if you want to. And there we go. Again, I'll come down here. I'll either schedule it or send it right now. You can, and usually in Line Desk, I don't see where to do it, but normally there is a send test email here as well. So I would also send a test email for my CRM. Just want to make sure it looks good, that they didn't do anything to the formatting of it. I don't like surprises, so I want to make sure to check everything before I actually send it out to my database. So any questions? Yeah, today's the 4th. Good thing I'm getting a little bit healthy. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to celebrate tonight. Sure. Why does Mardi Gras have to be on a Tuesday? Oh, I guess Mardi Gras on Fat Tuesday, right? And then, so what is Friday? So today's Mardi Gras. I can't believe everyone's going to go party hard tonight. I'll have to look into that. Maybe my head's just a little bit off. So there are 3 email blasts right here. If you haven't used them, I would highly recommend that you get to it and pay attention. Now, we'll normally, um, drop it into the mastermind group that there's a new email blast. It'll be on our Instagram. So make sure you're following us on Instagram. All right. Listings to leads on Instagram. We'll drop the video there as well. Normally you'll see it on uh, YouTube that we dropped an email blast. So make sure to follow us on YouTube as well, because it's even though you got some wiggle room on when to send them, you always want to try to get them out as quickly as possible. So that way, when we drop the next email, you're ready to be able to send that out without getting backed up. So has anybody here sent these out yet? Oh, wow. See, like I said earlier, to everybody that got here on time, so funny how so many people come in late, but we are recording this. This will be available on YouTube a little bit later today. So you will be able to watch it in its entirety. So we were talking a little bit about the email blast. And again, no, you don't have to call your database through on this one. This would be a little bit odd to call your database. Hey, I just sent you an email about 10 interesting dates in March. So this one you can skip unless you want to call your clients and invite them to a Mardi Gras party or maybe a St. Patrick's Day party. So if you're doing something like that, it could be fun, a good reason to call them. Now, for everybody here that just joined us, we're going through the database email blast available to you in Listings to Leads, where we drop an email blast usually every week or two that relates to current events, current topics in the real estate world. And while we were doing that, I was showing you that lead gen signature. And I'm going to show you, if you go to your Listings to Leads profile down here, click on profile, and I'm going to show you where that signature is. Right here in the profile, lead gen signature, click on it, and it's right here. You'll see there's a change template button right there. Different templates to choose from, and quite a few. So I like that top one the best. That's the one I like. So I use that one. Click save. You can copy the code. And so again, you could drop that into a blog. All right. If you got a blog post, in fact, I think I did. Let's go to Listings to Leads. And if I go to, I will show you an example maybe. So from listings, here's a blog post I did. And this was regarding a property that I'm not an agent anymore. So when I speak as if I sold a property or as a buyer, I haven't been an agent since I started the company. So, but it's easier to speak that way than, the other way. So, but again, I'm not an active agent anymore, but this was a listing that we got into contract. And so you can see here, in fact, this image, if that's pending, I got the home value. I got my video, right? So if you're in the mastermind group, these videos are available to you to put on your website, to put on your blog, to put on your Facebook profile. This is a video that I might actually put on my Facebook business page, pinned to the top, so that anybody that's a member of my Facebook page will see this video. There's a 5-minute version and there's a 1-minute version. And then I got my signature right here. So here's that lead gen signature at the bottom of my blog. Home value, click for my reviews. I got my client review website. A great little way to end the blog versus what I see most people doing. And so this isn't really a webinar about doing a blog post on pending listings, but you know what? I'm going to send this to everybody because I think a lot of you might like to look at this a little bit later. So let me drop this into the chat and I'm going to send that to everybody. So if you want to take a look at that later, or you just go to listingstoleads.com/blog and search for maybe sold in 23 days. You might be watching this in the future. And so there might be other posts above this. This might be on page 3 by that time. Who knows? But again, listingsleads.com/blog, and then search. If it's not at the top or you don't see it right away, just search sold in 23 days and you will find that. And so a couple of things here. Call to action title. So this is the text right here that is in the top bar. So get your free home value estimate now. And then what does that link to? I linked it to my home value landing page. I could put any link I want right there. Then I could also select from all the different landing pages in my account. Then I got the show my reviews button. That goes to my client review website. And then if there's any legal language that you want to put at the bottom of your signature, you got that capability there as well. So now we've covered, man, I tell you what, we've already covered what most people would have taken a whole webinar to do. So we got some great topical email blasts there. The one for blowing your money on rent, which especially in this market, right? This is a pretty brutal market for a lot of people trying to find buyers. And so that email, and we're going to be coming out that version of that email every month or so. We're going to have a different version of that email. So yeah. Now we've got emails for everything in the system. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's go. Normally I go to the marketing calendar, but let's go to listings. Let's go through each of the main sections. We'll go through listings, PDF guides, and then we'll go through landing pages because there are emails for all of them. And I highly recommend using them. So every single week, I always recommend, in fact, there's a woman in the mastermind group and she was running a couple of ads. And I'm like, listen, especially if you're just starting out, running ads for listings is such an easy way to get leads in super cheap. So if you got a listing that you can borrow, if you got a listing that if you don't have a listing, right, or if you can market new construction, but if you can find a listing to market that is in your, preferably both your buyer and your seller profile, your avatar. So in an area that you want business, in an area that's got good turnover, right? I don't want to be marketing a listing that's a $5 million listing because it'll probably take forever to sell. And, getting a buyer, if you're in that luxury market, phenomenal. Good for you. I worked at Sotheby's selling a $4 million house 15, 20 years ago, right? That's what we did. But those things can take months and months to sell. So find properties in a really good turnover price point to market and get those into listings to leads. If you need help, get into the mastermind group, get with our team. But once you've got your listing that is for sale in your account and you click on market listing, you're going to see here, e-flyer for your database. And this e-flyer is not your IDX e-flyer. This is not an MLS e-flyer. This is not my website e-flyer. This one is way better. So when you've got a listing, and you may call it the deal of the week, where you may say, hey, instead of saying 5530 Douglas Boulevard in Folsom just listed for sale, maybe your subject line is deal of the week, Folsom, California, right? Deal of the week, Rockland, California, or just deal of the week, homes for sale in Rockland. And that's the mindset you should really have is, what is the deal of the week that I can market to my people, right? If you don't know how to borrow a listing, if you need to, talk to your broker about it, because you want people to be associating you with properties for sale, right? Now, there's a lot of other things where we're going to talk about adding value through the PDF guides, making direct offers through landing pages, right? We can do pool homes. There's so many different things we can do, but marketing listings is what buyers and sellers are thinking about, what they're expecting, and what gets conversations going. And so this e-flyer, same thing, right? When you click the image or those links, it goes right to the single property website. And a lot of people commented to me about the video that I did with all the great ways to use video in listings to leads. So I would sell a property video, 3D tour, a community video, right? Professional photos, all the great content regarding the listing, the area, my business offerings. Right, you're gonna see down here, I got my print brochures. Oh, something happened there. I'll take a look at that. All my client reviews. Awesome. More listings. And I've even got a client review video at the bottom. So you will convert typically more leads at your single property website than your IDX or from the MLS email or whatever email you're currently sending. And then right below that, check this out. You got your listings to leads, home value landing page. And then, like I mentioned earlier, you got your listings to lead signature at the bottom that we looked at a little earlier. So this email, right, the beautiful little slideshow right here. So to get this out to your database, you can either send it through listings to leads like we did earlier. So I can click send. No, I've even got mine set up. So every time the listing changes status, it will email all the leads I've either generated. Like I could select do all. I'm gonna say no need. I could send it to all my buyer leads automatically. I could send it to all the leads for just this listing automatically, right? So I got all these different lists in here. And or like before, I can click the copy code button and go to my CRM, right? Again, navigate to where it is I'm going to send out my email like I normally do. But instead of typing out or just whatever it is, right? I select that, I click that source button. This will pop up. I'm going to put in my stuff I copied from listings to leads. And there we go. I got my little slideshow. I got my graphic for the home value landing page. And I got my signature. And in my subject line, I might say deal of the week, wholesome, or I might say, right? Whatever. Give it a good subject line. Beautiful email. Even got the text code, right? Got my custom URL from listings to leads. That's free. And then again, send this out, schedule it, send yourself a test email, but get that to your database. And as always, as I always say, try to call 5 to 10 of the leads that get this email. Now, whether you send this to just your buyer leads or your seller leads, that's up to you. I can make a case for doing it either way. I could make the case for sending it to only my buyer leads because maybe I want to send something else to my seller leads, or I send it to my seller leads as well because I want them to understand that I market listings. And if you want to get your home sold, you want to use someone that knows how to market listings. So I want to keep my seller leads, I want to keep my marketing in front of them. So even though my seller leads may not be, although they may be, they got to buy something. And when COVID hit, people started moving further away, right? The average distance from the home that they are selling to the home that they bought was getting quite a bit further. Now that number is shrinking. Hell, maybe they will buy your listing that you're promoting. And again, it doesn't have to be your listing. If you don't have a listing, really, I recommend get a listing to market. Find a listing to market so you can market listings every single week. We got a database call script. And so again, when we're going to call through our database, here's a great script for you to use. And notice when you go through the script, whether you own a home in the farm area, they own a home, maybe it's not in the farm area, or they're a buyer lead. So take the script, So, hey, Sean, Scott here, listening to Ladies. Want to let you know that 5530 Douglas Boulevard, in this case, just listed for sale. I sent an email to you with the link to the single property website with all the photos and details. And I just want to make sure you got that. Or you can text 1001 to 25678 to get the virtual tour sent to you. Or if you like, just text me back and I'll get it over to you right away. With the way the market is now, I just want to make sure to let you know about this home being for sale. So I'm being courteous as a professional real estate agent. I am being courteous to let you know that in this ridiculous market that we're in, there is actually inventory, right? Another home in for sale. And we're going to do the same thing with pending and sold, right? So we're going to do the same thing with pending and sold. And if you can do that every single week, it's going to be a beautiful thing. So if I go back to the listings dashboard, and in fact, there was the agent in the mastermind group I was referring to. I said, do you have any recent listings that went pending or sold? And she goes, I haven't had anything since December, but I just had 2 buyers go buy a home. So she closed 2 transactions. And I'm like, listen, that's phenomenal because you can add those listings, right? When your buyer goes into contract. Let me show you something here. If I go to success stories, right? This agent right here, Bernadette, or no, who is Elena. So Elena here, if I click read story, I've been using listings for these for a couple of years. And I recently, here we go. I recently sent 100 nearby homeowner letters around a pending listing that my buyers were in contract on. And again, when it just sold. She states again that she represented the buyer. I already got a call from got the nearby home letter, and I listed their home for $500,000 on her area. That's a good price point. I folded it up. She didn't even mail it. I mean, she did mail it, but not through a professional printer. She just trifolded, addressed it, stamped it. So some of you could sit here and spend an hour trying to figure out the exact punctuation to unlock the magic gates of seller leads, or you can actually just get to work and start getting these letters out the door. If you want to send them through Mailbox Power, where they will actually put a hand-addressed looking font on the envelope with the first class stamp, beautiful thing that you can do there. You got Zaire Mail, which is great for these, or you can just do them on your own. You can door knock with them. If you look up here, back here, success stories, Bernadette, she did talk about, I believe, door knocking, right? Yep, she door knocked. And she actually got a couple of listings from that because she got the listing and then that homeowner referred her to somebody else, if I remember correctly. So let me just show you here. If I go to add listing, what I'm going to show you is when you're in contract on a listing, your buyer is in contract, come here to add listing, manual. And now you can do draft. So you might start this off as a draft, add whatever information that you got in there. Don't go stealing the listing agent's photos. Don't go stealing the listing agent's description. So add what you can as draft. Go get a couple of photos, maybe during the inspection. Take a couple of photos of the front, a couple of photos of the back. If you want to take a couple of interior photos, whatever, use your own judgment on that. But I think even just 1 or 2 photos of the front of the house is really all you need. So again, don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Just, adding a listing takes literally 5 minutes max. And think of that as content creation, where a lot of you are trying to think of what's the perfect social media post, what's the perfect, this or that for content. Listings are great content because once you got that listing in your account, using the listings for leads, playbooks, and checklist to market that listing, you're going to be doing great. You're going to be doing great. Don't just rely on the Facebook ad. Try to use everything. And so let me show you here. Once you're ready to take it off of draft, you can do whatever status you need as far as in contract, under deposit, active, contingent. And look right here, just sold selling agent and then pending. And so just sold selling agent, that's where your buyer has recently bought that property. That makes you the selling agent. If you listed the property, then you'd be the listing agent. So get that into your account, because the pending and sold is the best for seller leads. It really is, right? Whether you're doing a home value landing page, leveraging it just sold, whatever. So you can see here, I got pending listings, I got sold listings, and so if I click on market listing for a pending, I go to the e-flyer for my database. Notice 333 Main Court in Rockland, California went pending and is expected to close soon. And again, that link goes right to the single property website. Now watch the lead capture here automatically. And as always, notice I changed my property description when the listing goes pending. A little bit of an aside from what we're talking about here today, right? So there's that lead capture. Nearby home sales will be affected when this home is sold because it's pending. Get your updated home market analysis now. People drop in the property address and it works just like a home value landing page. And that's why pending and sold is so good. It's mostly homeowners and soon to be home sellers that will click on those ads or those emails or the post or, respond to the letter. So that's phenomenal. And then the lead capture being, right, get your updated home value estimate, because when this home is sold, your home value will be affected. Or if the listing was already just sold, then the call to action would be something like, now that this home is sold, your home value has been affected. So we are going to automatically change those call to action for you. But then again, like I said, notice how I changed my property description once my listing goes pending. So I go to a sell side from a buy side on my property description. And so I want to get this email to my database, right? So even if my buyer is in contract, my seller's in contract, you still want to leverage it. It is the biggest crime in real estate. There's a lot of crimes, but a pseudo crime in real estate is not leveraging your listings to the fullest effect and not leveraging your opportunities. Because while your buyer being in contract is not your listing per se, but it is an opportunity. So again, I'm going to click either send test email to check it out. I can send it now or schedule, or click copy code. So I'm going to click copy code. Most of you have your CRM. So again, as always, I'm just going to navigate to where I send my email, source, right? Source, paste. Okay. And now we got our beautiful email. When pending, expected to close it. And notice these are all editable, right? All editable. And I'll say another home pending in, and there we go. So send now immediately, schedule, send test email, make sure all looks good. And again, get that to, now for that one, normally for these, I only send to my seller leads, right? There's not much of a reason to necessarily send it to your buyer leads unless you want to just show your buyer leads that, hey, things are selling. So it's like a little bit of an implicit push with your buyer leads, because you're not really giving them a call to action per se, but it is something that, again, I could argue both ways. I could argue send it to just your seller leads or send it to all your leads. And of course, what do we have right below the e-flyer for your database? We've got a call script, right? We don't want to be rude to our database. We don't want our database to think we only want to talk to them when they're ready to buy or sell, right? That's so transactional. right? That is so 1983, right? We don't want to be 1983. We want to be engaged, right? So engagement doesn't happen when they're ready to buy and sell, because at that point, they're already probably going to be engaged with somebody else. So you better get them engaged with you. And if they're not going to reach out and touch base with you on their own, then dropping a quick email like what we're talking about here, followed up with a quick little phone call, can go all the way to making a massive difference in your business. Now, we talked about listings. I'm telling you, the PDF guides are also absolutely phenomenal. So if I go to the PDF guides, and I'm just going to only show one because I got a few other things I want to get to here before the hour comes to an end. So again, every single guide, I'm going to pick, in fact, let's go to a buyer guide. I almost feel like more people want buyers now, which is phenomenal. And so I'm going to take a look at all of these guides, and maybe I do how to find the best home deals in your area. First time home buyers guide right there. Barn dominium, that was a funny one. Airbnb, pros and cons. 2-to-1 buy down, how it works. Let's take a look at that one. So I'll click on marketing tools. And then in the middle of the list, e-flyer for your database. Right, there's the email. And hey, if you want to use your Canva images, totally can do it. I always talk about, even when I'm running a Facebook ad or a social media post, if I want to use some sort of custom image from Canva, we've got 21 different templates for your listing images. You can use video. But for this email here, I'm going to click either send now, send test email, edit email, and or copy code. So again, I can send it through Listings to Leads. I can copy the code, go to my CRM, right? Navigate to where it is I send out that email. And I would highly recommend that you send out one of these a week and that you rotate one buyer 1 week, seller 1 week. And that's why the marketing calendar in Listings to Leads can really be a big help for people that, that get working with it, because every single week we rotate a different guide automatically for you. And so again, get that out to your database. I'm just going to come back in here. I will copy and paste the subject line, or I'll write my own, or just type it in, and boom. Now, if I'm doing this all at once, it's Tuesday, I'm going to set this all up for the week. Just schedule it out for Wednesday or Thursday, or whatever day you think is appropriate to go to your database. But get that set up and get that out the door. So again, in Listings to Leads, you've got what, 80 plus guides in the system. You're never going to run out of content. We've got people, in fact, I don't want to get into it too much, but when I go back to marketing tools, we've got people doing multiple short form videos a week for these guides. And so you'll see here, short form video script. And so we give you a short form video script to do an Instagram reel, do a TikTok reel, TikTok video. And you can do, like I said, I know people that do 4 or 5 a week. Because you figure 4 to 5 a week divided by 80, that's 16. That's 4 months. Then you can rotate it. No one is going to remember in May what you did in January. I can pretty much guarantee that one. So we talked about the dashboard, where we got some email blasts, listings, where we've got emails, PDF guides, landing pages. So pretty much most of the landing pages have an email blast. So again, I come into here. Let's just take a look at free home values. And we got e-flyer for your database. And like that. And what I would do is people send this out just like this, and or use Chat GPT. Let me see here. Let me see if I can, browser am I on there? I'll show you something here. If I go to, I'm going to bring it over from my other monitor in a second, and I'm going to do my chat GPT. I'll say, give me 100 words on the real estate residential market in Folsom, California for Feb 2025. Now, if you watched our webinar a couple of weeks ago, we went through an entire chat GPT prompt session to create a beautiful email. And so 100 words is a lot. I might bring that down to 50, but I'm just going to show you here. I'm just going to copy and paste it in. So just click in there. Then I'm just going to format it so it looks good. You get the idea here. And now 2 minutes, I've got a great email that I didn't have to spend however much money a month for something that literally takes a minute to do. Send test email. Let me send that to myself and there we go. Awesome. I'm going to pop it out of my monitor. And there we go. Oh, let me try to drag that bottom there. Oh, there we go. So there's the email, right? Literally took me 30 seconds to get that from Chat GPT. This part here. All of the rest of it is pre-built. So again, home value landing page. This one will automatically go to your agent website with listings to leads. So if you haven't seen, that's the agent website. And then the bottom one goes to your client review website, and where people can see, look at that domain, scottpierce.amazingclientreviews.com. Absolutely beautiful, right? Absolutely awesome. And so again, most of these landing pages will have an email for your database. So check those out as well. And then the last thing is under follow-up. So you've got buyer, seller follow-up. You can duplicate, you can customize, you can edit, right? You can take these and drop them into your CRM if you want to use them from your CRM. You'll see here, there's a tab called email blast as well. But our follow-up campaign, we get some great feedback from these. So if I click in the default seller follow-up there, you can see you can always restore default if you get a little bit crazy. And you can see our emails. And so ours, I tell you, some of these are just great emails in general as well, right? Like this one right here is a great one. I have a buyer that hasn't found a home yet. Great email. Safe home selling guide. And so for any of these, or if you click send test email, right for here, you can edit and copy that into your database. But if I go to send test email and bring it up, beautiful. This is what that same email looks like when your clients get it. And now safe home selling, that's actually probably just get that one out of there. Let's take a look at another one. So 5 tips to sell your home. Let's send test email, send. And there we go. Beautiful. And here's that email, right? First time home selling guy. That'd be a great email to get to my database, wouldn't it? Now that's coming. No. So these are coming out of these are similar to the PDF guides. Again, some really quick, short emails that are pretty good to send out. Actually, great to send out. A lot of great emails here. How to stage a home, right? You can add new email blast or new emails to your campaigns and listings to leads. And let's wrap it up here on the marketing calendar. So anybody got any questions for me? Let me know if anyone's got any questions. And if you look here at the marketing calendar, every Monday, we talk about marketing. I don't say every Monday, but every week, I want you to market a listing. Now, I put listings on a Monday in particular because if you're doing an open house next weekend, don't wait until Thursday to start marketing it. Okay. Please do not wait till Thursday to market your open house. You need to start getting ready. I would start marketing it today on Monday. That way you got all week to generate leads. You got all week to go through the marketing and the mastery so that you're going to have the best open house of your career. Right. And there's the e-flyer for your database, sold pending. I mentioned earlier about the PDF guides, how we're going to rotate. So buyer guide, seller guide, buyer guide, seller guide. Thursday are all the different seller landing pages. So for example, that was the home value landing page that we looked at. They had the e-flyer and the call script. And then on Fridays. So Fridays are a little bit different. FSBO, expired, and then some buyers, right? New construction, down payment assistance. And again, these all have the checklist, the guide, marketing tools. And now especially for expired and FSBO, these are not so much for your database as they are for the expired or the FSBO homeowner. So if you are going after expireds, if you're going after FSBOs, take a look at these emails. You can create a campaign. So you can add these to your automations. So if you've got, for example, your expired leads are coming in from RedX and they're automatically populating Mailbox Power or another print program. You could have or your database, right? Maybe they're going into Wise Agent automatically. In fact, I helped a client a couple of weeks ago doing exactly that. My Plus leads going into Wise Agent, we created a campaign that was automated. So as soon as those leads dropped into Wise Agent, right, the expireds, they were going to get I think it was like 5 or 6 email that was going to rotate twice. So they'll be registered to the campaign, of which this email, some of the emails from the PDF guides were part of it. So again, you can take these emails and send them off as the email blast. You can add them to a campaign, do a lot of great things with them. So with that, is there any questions, any comments? Everybody good to go? So again, make sure to use a couple of these a week. You don't need to use every single one of them, but try to make sure you're using a couple of them and then call through a few people. Don't be rude to your database. Don't be lazy with your database. Add value, stay in touch, stay consistent. You'll do a lot better. Can you export the calendar? No. Yeah, Scott, if you want to ping me in the mastermind group or somewhere else, or even email scott@listingsleads.com, maybe show me what you're thinking on that. Because for example, one of the things that we're going to be doing at some point soon is in the media library. Remember that video I showed you on my blog post about getting that property sold in 23 days? That's this video here. And we are working on allowing or adding the Canva link, right? Where like this wasn't done in Canva, but some of the videos are. And we're going to try to we're at some point soon, we're going to start trying to add the Canva links. So you can like literally take these videos and use Canva to edit them if you wanted to, for whatever reason. But these are some really great videos here. Again, you can download these, put them up on your socials. They're not meant to replace your beautiful face and your beautiful vibe, but they are meant to just be something supplemental to attract people. So if somebody's looking for a pool home, that could be a great video to use. All right, everybody, listen, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time. If you need anything, let our support team know. Let me know. We'll talk to you soon.